Dolman over to make the stop. It's going to go against the Denver Broncos. And I guess we'll expect some of that.
Offense. First down.
Lynn, they'll talk a little bit about that, but let's look now defensively at this Minnesota team. They have 3 #1 draft picks up front. Martin, along with Millard and Chris Dolman. They're linebacking a new look, except for the guy in the middle. Studwell has been there forever. All-time leading tackler for the Minnesota Vikings. Henderson is a USFL product. Lee, Browner, and John Harris. Browner and Harris, the strength of that secondary. So the penalty now makes it 1st and 15. A delayed handoff coming off to Gerald Wilhite. And Wilhite gets it out to the 30-yard line. He'll be 8 yards short of the first down. Henry Thomas made the tackle.
You alluded to the fact that the flag was thrown, and we might have to expect some of that in this ball game. It's true. Teams not been together, coming back. Timing's a bit off. Might be a few more mistakes. Teams jumping off sides. Could see a few more penalties this evening.
So it's 2nd down now. 8 yards to go. The Broncos have 2 receivers split to the top. Coming out of the shotgun this time, and now we have some movement changed by Ricky Nateel. The rookie had evidently lined up wrong. Now the throw over the middle to Orson Mobley, the tight end, and Mobley very close to the first down as he brings it out to the 38. Joey Browner over to make the stop. What a big target this guy is. 6'5", 256-pounder, second-year man from Salem College. It's going to be a first down.
Mobley getting downfield, making a good catch. Number 44, John Harris, the safety, came in and was blitzing on the play. Came in from the blind side of John Elway. But John Elway had the right play called. It was a quick passing play, got the ball off.
So the first down now moves it out to the 38. So they've overcome the 5-yard penalty to get their initial first down in this initial drive of the game. Mark Jackson comes motion to the near side. He's now set. Single running back is Winder. Bobby Mitchell, 46, the H-back in motion. Elway throwing, and coming back to make the grab is Jackson. He'll be 2 yards short of the first down. Out to the 47. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Carl Lee over defending on the play.
What John Elway wants to do is to be able to control his offensive unit. They have a lot of people from the Viking defense up close to that line of scrimmage. They're going to have to run controlled short routes, get the ball away quickly, and force the Vikings out of that 46 defense.
2nd down, 2 yards to go. There's Lee again lined up on Jackson, split to the near side. What speed this Denver team has. And Nateel, Jackson, and of course Vance Johnson trying to sledge ahead, hammer forward to pick up the first down. Very close to it. The Broncos as they unpile. The interior of the defense, and in particular making that stop, was David Howard and Henry Thomas. And it will be another first down. Dan Reeves in his 7th year as head coach. 2 AFC championships, 1 wild card berth, and a guy who had to flex this week. They had to change hotels. They had to change the night of the game, and he just hopes it didn't affect the team too much. Wilhite and Lang now, the running backs behind Elway on this first down. The line of scrimmage, the 49. Pitch comes to Wilhite. Tries to cut it back. He'll get a yard to the 50, and that's all. Good defense on this Minnesota team, and in particular because of their speed. Henry Thomas, the rookie from LSU, and David Howard over to make the stop.
You see that speed. They're making adjustments very well in the offensive line, but the defensive unit's just playing off the blocks, drifting, reading the flow of the offensive unit. You see they're holding their positions. Defense is very much a game of reacting, reading and reacting. Denver's got to find a way to force the Vikings not to make the correct reads.
5 defensive backs now into this game for the Minnesota Vikings on a 2nd down and 9. Little delayed handoff comes to Wilhite to the near side. He's got a big block to the 40. First down to the Minnesota 39. That was Keith Bishop, number 54, pulling the lead block. Cut down Jesse Sullivan, and that's the reason Bishop is a Pro Bowl performer.
Bishop, number 54, good speed. It's a big back, big guard, 6'3". 265. He gets out there very quick. Now you see this play, not the orthodox sweep to the outside. Denver's got a whole bag full of gadgets and tricks that they'll use in this ball game trying to get to the outside.
First down now at the 39-yard line of Minnesota. This is the initial series of the game. Elway, far sideline, on target, Jackson. He's hit immediately by Wyman Henderson. As you can see, they're very close to the front of that chain to pick up the first down. They'll be about a yard short, it appears. But again, Elway on target, had something on that one, and Jackson, the second-year man from Purdue, coming up with a completion. Thus far, Elway is 3 of 3 for 24 yards.
And control is such an important part of any football game, but especially this football game. You don't want to get out of your game. You want to be able to stay under control, not have to be too fancy or too aggressive coming back in your first game.
They've held the ball already 5 minutes on this drive. Double tight end. One of them is Mitchell in motion. They slanted straight ahead, pick up 4 yards. Scott Studwell made the stop on Gene Lang, the fullback. So to bring up now a second down. Or check that. A first down as he picks it up inside the 30 and advances it to the 26-yard line. And this has been a very impressive drive. Lynn, they've mixed it up well, going on the ground as well as throwing.
This is the kind of control that Dan Reeves said he wanted from Elway. Not to go for too much, just take what the Vikings give you.
Winder and Lang in the backfield now behind Elway. Mishandled snap from center. You might expect that with Bryan out of there. Let's see who comes up with it. Larry Lee, the guy, the 7-year veteran out of UCLA, replacing Bryan. I think he recovered it, and he did.
We'll take a look from the end zone just to see if John backed away too soon. The ball comes up. Looks like it's a good snap. John loses it, but fortunately it is right between the legs of Larry Lee, so he can just fall right on top of it. It looks just like John Elway just pulled his hands out too quickly. The ball was up high all the way up. He just never stayed in to grab it.
They're going to come out with 6 defensive backs now on this second down and 11. Gugamos and Rutland is checked in for Minnesota. Elway back, stayed in the pocket, on target. The catch is made by Natil, the rookie out of Florida, and he's all the way to the 5-yard line, a 23-yard gain. And that was excellent protection, good poise by Elway, and Natil making the grab, but it's going to come back. There's a penalty flag.
Excellent play. We talked about the fact that Bill Bryant's not in there, but the line's doing a very good job of protecting Elway. He gets the time, finds his receiver, Ricky Natil, who's got great speed coming across the middle, but all is for naught as it's brought back because of a penalty.
It's hard to pick up anything on that particular play. It must have been away from the football. Natil coming across, Gugamos over to make the tackle, but the penalty, Al, will move it all the way back out to the 37-yard line. It'll be second down and 21 yards to go. Johnson, Natil, and Jackson, 3 wideouts on this play, and this is the 10th play of the drive now for the Denver Broncos. Natil goes in motion. Elway, some pressure. Near side, Vance Johnson makes the catch at the 30-yard line, but they're going to have a long ways to go still on third down as Joey Browner, who's made the Pro Bowl the last 2 years, over to make the tackle.
Joey Browner out of USC, a real aggressive, strong player, can do it all. Number 97, Henry Thomas. The nose tackle was a man that came in, or excuse me, the defensive tackle was a man that came in and applied some pressure to John Elway.
I don't know if Dan's upset about that previous penalty that called the play back or what, but he is venting his frustration right now.
Well, there was a little jumping on the defensive line. He may have thought that the defense was offside, didn't get back in time, wanted the flag thrown. He was right there in a good position to see it.
This is the first third down on this drive, and Elway wants to think about it. So he will call a timeout with 7:21 to go in this first quarter. Denver has had the football the entire football game. Down on this drive. This is a very unusual start to a game, Lynn. Right now, the Broncos have had the ball 7 minutes and 39 seconds. They're on the 30-yard line of Minnesota. Still nobody on the scoreboard.
And it is the first drive of the evening.
I tell you, the Twins captured the imagination of everybody. This place last night, I came in here, and you could not hear yourself think. And I was curious about Whitey Herzog, if he could even appeal some of those plays at first base. You can't hear anybody when you go out and talk to the umpire.
And then after the game, everyone celebrating the fact that the Twins won. I came in from the airport. I had to walk 10 blocks to get to the hotel because you couldn't drive.
Well, we staged that. We wanted to keep you humble. Third down now, 14 yards to go. Elway, you can see, having to really yell out his signals. Flag on the play, stepping up in the pocket. and he's going to run with it. He'll get out of bounds at the 25, chased out of bounds on the near side by Reggie Rutland. But as we mentioned, a flag went into the air about the time the ball was snapped. So we're having a lot of mistakes, Lynn. I'm not surprised. Are you?
No, I'm not surprised. The defensive line, someone on the, I think it might have been Chris Dolman, number 56, one of the ends, jumped off sides.
Well, it's the third penalty of this drive, or if you will, the third penalty of the game. 7:13 left in the first quarter, and I would think that Wade Wilson, the Vikings, are getting a little frustrated. They'd like to get the football. Has there ever been a team keep the football the entire first quarter?
I don't think so.
Offsides, number 75 defense, third down.
Let's see if we can pick it up on the replay. Who was offside?
On the right side of the screen, just before the ball snapped, you see right there the movement. Doesn't get back in time. Might have been 79, Doug Martin.
I think it was Keith Millard, 75. There's Jerry Burns in his second year, 60 years young. 18 years, an assistant coach for the Minnesota Vikings. He's not very happy right now. All right, from the 25-yard line, third down, 9 yards to go. Elway, end zone, Johnson, touchdown. "25 yards from Elway to Vance Johnson."
And he didn't do it the easy way. He did it over number 47, Joey Browner. They had a couple of games running up front, no blitzing. That means they had 7 people back in pass coverage, but Vance Johnson gets behind Joey Browner, number 47, makes it look easy as he catches it backing up into the end zone.
Vance Johnson, his second touchdown catch of the year. That drive covering 72 yards. It took 7 minutes and 53 seconds. Rich Carlos now to attempt the point after. He's perfect thus far this year. 6 of 6. Gary Kubiak holding, and the Denver Broncos have a 7-0 lead.
Take one more look at this play from the end zone. A great drive by John Elway, typical of the growth he has made as a quarterback over the 5 years he has played for the Denver Broncos. He doesn't leave the pocket. He takes his time. 7:07 left in the first period.
Carlos kicking off now for the Broncos. Neil Gugamos, number 41, will bring it out for the Vikings, who trail now 7-0. Gugamos gets the alley to the near side, and he'll go out of bounds at the 35. And so the Vikings will get the football for the first time.
Now, we don't quite understand why Dan Reeves is upset. We're trying to find out. He is still arguing with the official over something that obviously displeases him.
During our break in the commercial, that was a tape piece, but Dan's been working him over pretty good the entire first quarter. His team had the football 7 minutes and 53 seconds, 11 plays, 72 yards, culminating in a 25-yard touchdown pass from Elway to Vance Johnson. So here's Wade Wilson, who was very, very good before the strike. Let's see if he can pick up where he left off. Throwing on first down, Steve Jordan, the tight end, and Jordan comes up with the catch. Dennis Smith defending on the play, and Jordan has just latched on to one, good for 23 yards.
Pro Bowl tight end. This is pretty daring. Coming back the first play, a little play action, holds everyone. His receiver just running a flag pattern, a short flag pattern, in front of number 49, Dennis Smith, also a Pro Bowl safety.
Last year, Jordan had 58 catches. The year before, 68. So he is one of the best. 6'4", 240-pounder. Alfred Anderson, the only running back in the backfield. He's got the ball, and they've got him. He didn't go anywhere that time. Double coverage that time from Dennis Smith and Jim Ryan. No gain on the play. Let's look now offensively. Nelson has led them in rushing the last 2 years. Carter, Lewis, outstanding wide receivers, and we mentioned the play of Jordan. Zimmerman's as good as anybody playing the game right now. He just sticks to people when he blocks them. Some changes up front. Loudermilk has replaced Dennis Swilley at the center spot. Swilley checking into camp injured this year. Second down, virtually 10 yards to go as Alfred Anderson and Darren Nelson in the backfield behind Wade Wilson. Delayed handoff to Anderson, a former Baylor standout. Advances to the 35-yard line. He'll be 3 yards short of the first down. Jim Ryan made the stop. Defensively for Denver, they made a change. Andre Townsend is at the left defensive end spot, replacing the injured Freddie Gilbert. Reagan then has started at nose guard. He was a starter there last year. And Rulon Jones, of course, the AFC Defensive Player of the Year last season. Linebackers, they can run. They cover well. Mecklenburg is a dominating player, and Hundley led him in tackling a year ago. And in the secondary, they think Harden played as well as anybody in the NFL a year ago. He had 6 interceptions. 3rd down, 3 yards to go. From the shotgun is Wilson. He's got some running room. To the 30, 25, and goes out of bounds. He surveyed that field very effectively that time, picks up the 1st down, and shows that he can run when the opportunity presents itself.
He's getting great protection. The defense for the Denver Broncos playing a combination man and zone coverage, and the receivers had them all spread out. He looked around, saw them all covered, took his time, picked up the 1st down, and stepped out of bounds. Just cool, calm, under pressure, leading this ball club.
Wade Wilson is their man right now. Tommy Kramer came into camp hurt. He may have a tough time getting this job back. 1st down, the line of scrimmage, the 23-yard line. 7-0 Denver. They scored on their initial series, and Minnesota trying to match that right now. Wilson back over the middle. A pass is complete to Anthony Carter. 1st and goal at the 5. Dennis Smith really hitting. Carter is shaken up on the play.
Anthony Carter, a small receiver. He's only 5'11", 175. You see right there, he just steps in between the zone coverage, barely hangs on to the football and takes a good pop. But as soon as he got up, he looked over to the sideline, signaled to the coach that he wanted to come out, and he's walking slowly off to the sideline. He didn't even make it down to the bench. He's bending over trying to catch his breath.
What concentration, though. He knew he had a shot coming. An 18-yard pickup, 1st and goal now at the 5-yard line. Carter's not very big, and Smith will hit with anybody. Hand off at DJ Dozier, the rookie, and Dozier
Touchdown.
is in for the touchdown.
There's a meeting of some sort in the middle of the field.
There was a wait on that.
The official on the far side, far left, signaled a touchdown. He goes in over the left side where he's got Gary Zimmerman, standout, the offensive tackle, and he just bulls over for the touchdown. The question here, probably the right side on the camera side, is whether or not his knees were down before the ball broke the plane. The official on the far side, as a matter of fact, his knee was down. The official on the far side signaled a touchdown. The other officials weren't sure.
We're going to have a replay.
See right here, his knee is down, there's contact, and the ball had not crossed the plane. He sticks it over.
Well, I had to wait. I could not see. I know you called it because you saw the guy on the far side of the field, but the officials were indecisive, and now they're going to have the decision made, and I would assume that the replay will show just what we saw, that his knee did go down. Let's look at it again.
Take a look. There's a contact. Tackle is being made. His knee is down. The ball is dead. The ball is a good half yard to a yard from the end zone. Now the official over here, you see his legs just at the top of the screen. He is blocked off. He can't see that the knee is down. He's running up to the goal line to make the call. We'll take another look. You see the contact right there. That contact and the knee down constitutes a tackle. The ball is short of the end zone. It shouldn't be a touchdown.
That was Mark Haynes who made the stop. Well, let's see if he did in fact stop him short of the touchdown. That was one of those things where the officials were screened out. No one wanted to make the call, so they're going to make it upstairs. Al Sabato is our replay official, and so they'll wait for that determination to come down to the field. DJ Dozier, by the way, their #1 draft pick on that national championship team from a year ago at Penn State. And he's been everything they thought he would be. He scored 2 touchdowns in the first game this year.
The only rookie in the history of this ball club to do so.
After review by the replay official, the runner was down on the 1-yard line. And the second down on the 1-yard line.
I don't think if anybody could see the replay like we have, and the people, of course, watching at home would argue the case. Of course, this partisan crowd wanted to get it in, but they're still in good position. They have a 2nd and goal now at about the 1-yard line.
DJ Dozier might be a little upset. It just brings his average per carry down a little bit.
And it may keep him from getting a touchdown. Let's see who they're going to go with.
Well, in situations like this, the coaches might give him call his number again, let him score the touchdown.
Well, he's in there along with Rick Finney, the rookie from Washington, who they like to use in short yardage plays, and a double tight end alignment in Steve Jordan and Carl Hilton. Finney big, strong fullback. Now Dozier's coming out, so he won't get a chance. Dozier comes out of the game. And now Anderson is in the backfield with Finney. 2nd and goal from the 1. Anderson diving. He didn't get it. Oh, did he get smacked back that time? That's Hundley. Ricky Hundley, number 98. Met him midair, and he didn't go anywhere on that play.
He certainly didn't. Hundley, the linebacker, number 98, times it perfect. You'll watch as the back goes up and into the air. Just as he gets right there, Hundley is right there to greet him. Hundley's one of those players who needs to continually play to improve. And the coaches felt that of all the people on the defensive starting unit, he could be the most affected by the strike, not having played for 3 games.
Now Dozier comes back in to join Finney. Dozier, the I back, Finney, the lead back. 3rd and goal from the 1. Here's Dozier, and I don't know. No signal. I don't think he made it. Can you believe it? And it's 4th and goal.
They're trying to get the 1 yard in inches here. We'll see it again from our sideline camera. He goes up into the air, watch the goal line, see where the contact's being made, and it's close. But Tony Lilly, number 22, comes up and has enough momentum to stop him just short.
Also give credit to 98 again. That's Ricky Hundley. So they're going to have a timeout. They got to think about this one. Gary Burns has got to really be upset. It's 4th and goal when we come back. Oh, 4th and goal, less than a yard. The Vikings electing to go for it.
I think they're afraid to let Denver have the ball.
And straight ahead this time is Wilson. Wade Wilson takes it in. So after being denied by the replay, they get it, but they have to go to their last down to do so.
Line charge was low. The defensive line was low. Wade Wilson, just enough room and the quickness to dive over. And that might be the key to that whole play for the Vikings in this drive. Instead of waiting for the timing of the back to come from the backfield up to the line, he just jumps before the linebackers have a chance to come up and make the play.
Chuck Nelson to try to tie this game up. Greg Coleman to hold. Nelson this year 7 of 7 on point afters, and he's now 8 for 8. 7-7 our score. 3 minutes, 37 seconds to go as Wade Wilson taking it in himself. Impressive drives. The one by the Vikings, 64 yards of 9 plays, scoring on a 4th and 1. 4th and goal from actually inside the 1 on a Wade Wilson dive over the middle. That followed the drive by the Broncos that took 7 minutes and 53 seconds, covering 72 yards. And Chuck Nelson, who just tied the game up a moment ago, will kick off. There's the other game going tonight. Jeff Jager, who was a former teammate of Chuck Nelson's at Washington, has given the Browns a 3-0 lead over the Rams. Boy, the Rams have really been a disappointment thus far.
Interesting story there with Eric Dickerson and his contract talks.
Here's Nelson kicking off. This will be Gene Lang to bring it out for the Broncos. Out to the 20, 25, and he'll be gobbled up there at the 26-yard line. Looking ahead to this Saturday on college football from the Big Ten, we have a very, very important game coming up, and also for the Pac-10. UCLA and Arizona State. That'll be from Sun Devil Stadium, and UCLA right now, that may be their biggest obstacle to Pasadena in the Rose Bowl. And then Michigan State, a half game behind Indiana, the surprising Hoosiers, and Ohio State right on the heels of the Hoosiers as well as the Spartans. That will be our other game. Be sure to check your local listings, and we'll begin it all 3 o'clock Eastern. Look at this. Elway 5 of 5. Wilson hit 2 of 2. Wilhite will carry, and Wilhite will get maybe a yard, and that's all. 2nd down and 9.
I don't anticipate seeing Denver having a great deal of success running up the middle against the Viking defense. The Viking defense is playing strong. They're tough. The offensive line for Denver, not a real big offensive line, but they're quick. A lot of traps, a lot of influence blocks. So I don't really see them being able to muscle their way down the middle of the field.
Well, historically, neither team's been a good running team in years past either. 6 defensive backs jump in now for the Vikings on a 2nd down and 9. Mobley, the tight end, 89 in motion. Elway, protection there, and he's on target to Vance Johnson. Johnson, the ball fumbled, picked up. Running the ball is Ryman Henderson, but it's been blown dead. The ball is blown dead where the tackle was made, but Henderson carried it out anyway. You never know. Wyman Henderson out of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
I think that was Carl Lee who comes up to make the tackle. Just a crossing route here. Johnson gets this ball and just sprints away from coverage. Again, the quick passing plays, short and controlled, but still coming up with the good yardage.
He obviously was down on that play. That was Lee who stripped the ball. Johnson with 3 catches now for 38 yards and a touchdown. Lang and Will Height, they're the running backs behind Elway. 3rd down, still 3 yards to go. In motion this time is Clarence Kay. Elway looking his way, then he overthrows his man. No one really open that time. He just got rid of it. Mark Jackson was defended against very successfully that time by the interior of that secondary. That's the first incomplete pass tonight by John Elway.
And that's just the shortest drive. Only the 2nd possession. They're turning the ball over quickly now.
And so coming in will be Mike Horan to punt the football for the Broncos. He's punted 5, and this is Leo Lewis, number 87, going back. Horan out of Long Beach State. He was picked up in the 13th week last year by the Broncos and did an outstanding job for him. He was the 3rd punter the Broncos tried. Left footer, and he hit that one kind of funny. It's going to take a Bronco bounce, so he's going to get an excellent roll out of this one. All the way down to the 13-yard line. So the Vikings will get the football for the 2nd time, and that ended up being a 54-yard punt that time. Not very artistic, but very, very successful.
Not very artistic. And when you look at a punt like that, you have to say the responsibility for making that catch belongs with that returner. He's got to play himself no more than 40 yards away from that line of scrimmage. Then if the ball is short, he can come up, make the fair catch. If it's deep, he has time to get back and make the catch. That time, he didn't give himself the opportunity to make a fair catch. The result, 54 yards in poor field position.
Talking about Leo Lewis. Alfred Anderson, Darren Nelson in the backfield. Tied at 7. 1:54 to go in the first quarter. Nelson trying to go wide, and he is caught from behind by Ricky Hundley. Now that is something to see a linebacker from the backside haul down Darren Nelson. That gives you a little bit of idea how fast this 250-pounder is.
Well, one of the reasons why he was able to make the tackle is that his number 66, Terry Tao, was out blocking in front of him. And then Mike Hart, number 31, came up and caused him to just stretch the play out. Then he submarined it just to take out the guard. The running back stretching it out. Man comes in from behind.
Boy, he filled in a hurry. A loss of 2. 2nd down, 12. Dozier in the ball game now. Leo Lewis in motion. Wilson back. Making his break is Anthony Carter, but he can't catch up with it. Double coverage on this near side. Tony Lilly along with Mark Haynes over there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Well, we talked at the top of the show about what happened after the strike was over. Chicago winning yesterday. Jim McMahon bringing him from behind. Right now in excellent position. Look at Minnesota, though. They've got a lot of uphill battles to fight. And then in the AFC West, surprising San Diego is 5-1. Boy, their replacement team really put them in a great spot. Denver could be a half game back if they win tonight.
And Denver knows they can't let the teams get out in front of them too far. 1985, they were 11-5 and didn't make the playoffs.
3rd and 12, 6 defensive backs in for the Broncos. Wilson throwing, that's a bad throw. Dozier, the short man. Carter further up the field, but not close to either one. I don't think he could see very well. He had a defender in his face. That was Simon Fletcher, number 73. And Fletcher, at 6'5", really made it tough for him.
Fletcher came in and made a hit. He was close enough, had the one step, made the contact with the quarterback, took him down. If he hadn't gotten the ball away, it would have been a safety.
Here's the number 1 draft pick of the Broncos, Natil, from the University of Florida. Boy, what a great preseason he had. Had 2 effective games, and then the strike, and I know people are waiting to see him. Greg Coleman the punt, and Coleman, who had 1 blocked before the strike, gets this one underway to the 50-yard line. Natil there, up to the 40, and the speedster was dropped at the 37. The ball is blown dead. That'll be a 39-yard punt by Coleman, and Natil with a 13-yard return before Walker, Lee, Ashley came up with a stop. Well, next week, a week from tonight on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, 2 traditional NFC East rivals. as the Giants take on the Dallas Cowboys. That's 9 o'clock Eastern. The Giants finally won one yesterday. I don't know that. It's going to, you know, there's some talk. They're going to have meetings tomorrow in Kansas City. There's talk of voting for a split season. And teams like the Giants and these Vikings would love to see that.
I think a split season would be totally unfair.
Flag Wilhite in the backfield on a first down, and they pick up 2 yards. That's Wilhite carrying as we come to the last 40 seconds of this first quarter. What we mean by a split season is they're talking about playing an 8-game season, then determining who has won the division, giving them playoff spots, then playing the remaining part of the season, and what spots would be left, they would come in to the playoff picture.
I think it's unfair to the coaching staffs who had to build programs and try and put teams in the field. I think he destroyed a great deal of the public trust. We were all told that these games counted.
Second down and 8. Elway to Wilhite. Wilhite gets a block from Lang, and he makes it to the 35. Picks up maybe 2. Scott Studwell over to make the stop as this first quarter is coming to a close. 7-7. The Broncos and the Vikings will return to the Metrodome. After this look at a place that's been the focal point of the baseball world for some time, the Metrodome, and inside, what is it? It was 45 degrees at kickoff, and in here it's a very pleasant, what did they say, 72 degrees? I forget, but it's certainly not as cold as it is outside.
68 or so, energy efficient.
Energy efficient. We start the second quarter. It's third down and 8 now for the Broncos. 7-7 our score. In motion goes Mark Jackson, and in motion's the entire defensive line of the Minnesota Vikings. Were they drawn off? That's Millard. They were drawn off. Let's look now at the first 15 minutes of action statistically to see what happened. And if you look at the rushing yardage, it's very, very equal. The Broncos getting better of the passing and a little better of the total yardage. And look at the time of possession.
Well, that great drive by the Denver Broncos, eating up 7 minutes, 39 seconds in the first period, controlling the football, setting the tempo. That accounts for, obviously, important, I think, is the fact that there are no turnovers in the first quarter. Both teams attempting to play controlled football, eliminate as many mistakes as possible.
Well, that penalty was against the Broncos. They did draw the Vikings offside, so it's third down now, 13 yards to go. Rick Massey, Mark Jackson, Vance Johnson, and Ricky Nattiel have all come in. 4 wideouts on this play.
I was talking with Vance Johnson before the game. He said he thought they had a great advantage with all the speed that they could put there in that team on offense.
In motion comes Johnson. Elway back on 3rd and 13. A man clearing over the middle. That's Johnson, and broken up nicely. That's John Harris, number 44, who has 44 career interceptions, the most in the NFC. Upset he didn't come up with it, but I tell you, had he not been there, there was a lot of running room for Mark Jackson over the middle.
A lot of room for Mark Jackson. John Harris coming in via the trade with Seattle. But number 82, Vance Johnson, just streaked down the field, down the center of this field. If Elway had seen him and just laid it out into the end zone, no one would have caught him before he and the ball got to the end zone at the same time.
4th down, 13. That means that Horan will have to punt, and Leo Lewis goes back to the 10-yard line for the Vikings. That first punt of 54 yards, a little misleading. He got a great roll on it. Snap is there, and he hit this one off the side of his foot. See if he gets a break on this one. Nope, won't happen this time. There is a penalty flag, though, at the 50-yard line. Did they run into him?
I think we're going to have a roughing the kicker.
Walker Lee Ashley, a linebacker, was there where the flag was thrown. Let's see if that's what it is. Boy, is that a costly penalty for the Vikings.
That penalty is equal to a turnover because they maintain possession. You see there, he's being blocked. He just runs into him. Now, most people here would say, well, he was blocked into the kicker. He wasn't blocked into the kicker. He had control. He just reaches out, runs into him, and grabs him, and the official makes a play.
I thought it was nice the way he set him down.
Well, he wasn't too tough about it.
Well, what that is, obviously, is an automatic first down, and it sets it up at the 35. Walker Lee Ashley has been playing very well on their special teams, but that was a mistake.
Interesting. The first offensive possessions for both teams resulted in touchdowns after that. Back and forth.
Elway to Wilhite on their first down effort. He picks up 5 to the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5 there. So the mistake gives the Broncos the football, and they're going to try to take advantage of it. They started this game with a drive of 72 yards to take the lead. Since it's been tied up. Walker Lee Ashley's back in there making that stop. He's probably in there trying to redeem himself right now. There's the penalties, and we may see a little of that, quite a bit of it, in fact. Both teams may be a little rusty, a little shaky after the layup. Here's Wilhite again on a 2nd and 5. He's for the 10. He's in. Touchdown? No, they caught him at the 1. It looked like he would make it in, and all of a sudden Browner, who was so strong, reached over, caught him by the shoulder pads, and dropped him. And he's shaken up. Wilhite is shaken up. Is that strong or what? We've heard about how strong Joey Browner is. Look at this.
Very strong. But what's going to happen here that causes the injury to Wilhite is the leverage. Watch as he grabs him from the back, and watch his legs. There's Joey Browner, 47, tackling 47. Watch the strain right there, just back on the legs, and how it's caught right there.
So Wilhite shaken up. The Broncos will have it to 1 when we come back.
Well, we smell a blowout in Cleveland. LA's Jim Everett set to pass here, and Felix Wright's going to step in front of Henry Geller. There's the pass, and there is Wright, clear sailing all the way. He's going to go 40 yards for the touchdown, and Cleveland now leads at 17-0 over the Rams.
Well, 17-0 there, and we thought it was going to be 13-7 here, but look at this play by Joey Browner, and concern now about Gerald Wilhite.
It's the right leg. You saw it right there, just buckled under.
Oh, I just saw that on the replay. That's awful.
Similar to the kind of break you saw when Joe Theismann in Washington was tackled, and it just broke right there. It looked like it was at the ankle, or maybe just above the ankle, that it just bent.
Well, Browner is so strong. I want to go back to that. They talk about there are 2 guys that's played in the history of the Vikings that have such strong arms and hands. One was Alan Page, and the other is Joey Browner, and it was so evident on that play. He caught Wilhite, who was going full steam, and absolutely changed his direction just by grabbing him at the shoulder pads, and that's hard to do.
Wilhite is a very strong runner, good legs, muscles through a lot of tackles that way. Most people would have carried, been able to carry a tackler from behind into the end zone. He's making good cuts here. He's running fluid. He probably thinks, I've got the speed. I'm in the end zone. Joey Browner is just closing. He knows he's got to get to him quick. Body strength, upper body strength, and right there, that leg just buckled under. And if it's not broken, then the ligaments are severely damaged in an ankle.
I can hardly watch it. That was a 29-yard run by Wilhite, and as you can see, the longest by a Bronco this season. But obviously, that's not of great importance right now, as he goes out, great deal of pain. And okay, 7-7 our score. This ABC Sports Exclusive is being brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth. We're working together to be the best.
And Gary, you talk about that, the shortened season because of the strike and the 8 games. This is one of the reasons why I think it's so unfair if they reduce that schedule and make it a shortened season. Just on the Denver team alone, Steve Watson
trying to sneak it in, and the touchdown is scored straight ahead that time, taking it in, and the Broncos able to get it in, but I'm sure right now they're a little distracted just as we are.
See, they scored the touchdown, but as I was saying, Steve Watson had 6 fractured ribs. They lost Billy Bryan. Now they lose Gerald Wilhite. To have these players come out here and risk injury and sustain injury and then tell them it was for nothing, I think is absolutely ridiculous.
That's a good point. Carlos now, point after attempt. Kubiak to hold, so Elway able to cap that drive after the 29-yard run by Wilhite. Carlos gets this one up and through the uprights. Tom Dooley indicates that the Denver Broncos have a 7-point lead. They lead it 14-7. Well, last night after Game 7 was over, there was a virtual traffic jam for hours after this facility started to empty out the celebration. And we're going to have the MVP of the World Series as our guest, Frank Viola. And with him is Mark Stevens of KSTV here in Minneapolis. He's in his home, and we'll be visiting with him later in this broadcast. Guggemos now returning it for the Minnesota Vikings, and he'll bring it out to the 31-yard line. Viola went 8 strong innings, retiring 18 of the last 20 Cardinal batters. And then, of course, Jeff Reardon came in, shut the door, and what a celebration ensued. I think they're still celebrating around here.
I think if they're not celebrating, the people who did it last night are sleeping it off.
There was somebody down the hall for me that was celebrating all night.
I was on the 19th floor of my hotel, and I could hear the people celebrating like they were right next door.
We understand that Will Hite's injury, the preliminary call on it is a dislocated ankle, but we'll get further on that. He leaves the game, 8 carries, 57 yards. But we'll update that for you. Here is Darren Nelson carrying, and he maybe got a yard, and that's all. Jim Ryan is there. Ricky Hundley is also there on the stop. Darren Nelson out of Stanford, the leading rusher the last 2 years for these Vikings. And Jerry Burns says pound for pound, he's as good a football player as there is in the NFL. Very courageous guy. Only weighs about 185 pounds, and he's 5'9".
He's 5th on the all-time total yards mark with the Vikings, 6,672.
Wade Wilson in a catch-up posture once again with 13 minutes to go in the first half. He has Dozier and Anderson behind him. That's Dozier. Check that. Anderson going in motion. Wilson looking that way. He'll deliver to DJ Dozier. The rookie across the 40 has a first down to the 43. And that's what they like about this Penn State rookie. He can catch the ball and do something with it in the open field. A 13-yard pickup. Jim Ryan over there to make the stop. Dozier is second only to Kurt Warner in the rushing annuals at Penn State, and that's pretty good company, those two.
Excellent company. Quick, strong, great hands.
So now he'll come out. Darren Nelson comes in. He'll join Anderson in the backfield. The first down out to the 43-yard line. 14-7. Denver with the lead. Wilson play action. Excellent protection. And over the middle to Anthony Carter. He's to the 40. It's another first down.
Anthony Carter, first-round draft choice out of Michigan. We saw him coming out of the ball game earlier this evening after he took a good shot. One of the big questions was always, is he big enough? Can he handle the punishment in the National Football League? Right here, he's going across the middle, the most dangerous territory on any football field, in front of 49 Dennis Smith, and he's making the catch and coming back.
17-yard pickup to the 39-yard line. Dozier back in with Anderson. Both these teams moving the football. Wilson off to Anderson. Flag on the play. Flag went into the air almost about the time the ball was snapped. Carl Mecklenburg, 77 there.
Mecklenburg playing linebacker. They'll move him around all over just to get the most advantageous blocking scheme for his pass rush. Right there, he just takes the angle and gets around number 76, Tim Irwin. Makes a stop behind the line of scrimmage.
Penalty going against the Denver Broncos. And it'll move the ball inside the 34. It's offside. I don't think Dan Reeves is very happy about that. There's evidently something going on in that line of scrimmage that's causing some problems, and he is not very happy about it. Earlier he was upset about it. Anderson and Nelson now in the backfield. Here's Darren Nelson, cut back, look out. Wilson tries to throw a block for him, but he can't because Mike Harden, number 31, fought it off and made the stop. So Wade Wilson was out there trying to help Nelson around the corner, but Harden, who we talked about at the stop of this broadcast, in the estimation of the Bronco coaches, is as good a football player as there is in the NFL.
And there's a little bit of complaining about this tackle here. He grabbed his face mask right there. It looked like he just put his hand on it. He may have grabbed it just a bit, but he actually looked like he was trying to be careful making this tackle.
Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, I'm not. He just looked like he was being careful.
Second down, 3. Dozier and Anderson in the backfield. Leo Lewis in motion. Outside pitch to Anderson. Anderson lowers his head, and he's got the first down. What a collision with Mark Haynes, the left side cornerback. They went helmet to helmet on that one, and Anderson knew where he had to go to get the first down, and he got it.
They always tell you to go low when you've got a big man to tackle. It's a big tight end, a big wide receiver, a big back. That time, Mark Haynes was coming up against number 46, Alfred Anderson. Alfred, his intention was to lay a lick on him to pick up that first down, and he just got low enough.
Alfred Anderson last year was the number 2 rusher. Reeves, his team on top 14-7. Right now, though, the Vikings have a first down at the 27-yard line of Denver. Wilson crossing pattern over the middle. Waited for the back Nelson on a delayed pattern out of the backfield, and he could not come up with a completion. Let's pause now. 5 seconds for our stations to identify themselves.
KUSA TV, a station of the Gannett Broadcasting Group.
9 to go in the second quarter. Denver leads the Minnesota Vikings 14-7, but the Vikings now have a second down 10 at the Denver 27-yard line. Denver scored first. The Vikings tied it up, and Denver again with the lead. Wilson back. Excellent protection. All kinds of time to throw the football. And a breaking Carter at the goal line. We're going to have interference on that one. Harden hitting prematurely.
There'll be a flag. Mike Harden, number 31, climbing over the back of Anthony Carter. You'll see the whole play right here. Wade Wilson had excellent protection. Rulon Jones, number 75, was being double teamed. He was tight in the pocket. He just stayed there. Receivers getting ready, running broken patterns. But watch here, as the ball's in the air, that hit right there on the side of the helmet as he comes around. A lot of times, they think an official may not see that play. That's why they do it. They just wrap their arm, and you see Anthony Carter getting up, pleading his case, but the official was right on top of it to call it.
That amounts to a 26-yard penalty. Sets it up first and goal at the 1. Rick Finney and Dozier in the backfield. First and goal at the 1. Dozier, he's in.
Dozier getting a touchdown back over the top. This time they decide to go just off the left tackle behind 65, Gary Zimmerman, best offensive lineman.
He's an excellent offensive lineman. Second-year man out of Oregon, played in the United States Football League. Point after attempt now by Nelson. Greg Coleman to hold, and they'll try to tie it up at the 9:18 mark of the second quarter. Wayne Jones will snap it. The ball's down. The kick's through, and it's even. 14-14. 7 plays, 69 yards. And that 26-yard penalty set it up. First and goal at the 1, and the Vikings capitalized on it. Hey, we expected a high-scoring game, and thus far it's headed that way. 14-all, and the Denver Broncos, even though they're deadlocked, look at the time of possession in the first quarter. And then in the second quarter, Minnesota kind of closed in a little bit, didn't they?
Far. Closing the gap.
One of the big stats in this game is Denver has been assessed for 51 yards and 5 penalties. That last one, a 26-yarder, setting up the first and goal. Gene Lang will run it out now for the Broncos. Got some running room. He'll bring it out to the 33, and the Broncos will have it there.
And the 14 points that both teams have scored, we've seen two completely different ball clubs. The first 7 points for each team. Control drives down the field, very professional, and they look very good. The second 7 points for each team, both touchdowns for each team came as a result of a penalty that sustained the drive. So we've seen basically two kinds of football this afternoon, so this evening in the first half.
So John Elway, you see his numbers. He had 30 completions in his last game. That was a tie against the Packers. He has Lang and Winder in the backfield behind him. First down now from the 33. Jackson, number 80, goes in motion. Following him is Lyman Henderson. Throw to the far side for Teal, and Henderson, who went in motion, got over there and made the stop. He was right where the ball was, along with Carl Lee, so they actually took Henderson to the point of impact.
What happens is there's man-to-man coverage. You see him going in motion, Mark Jackson. He's bringing his man over to the quick screen. If it was zone coverage, he could pick up the corner, and that's what he's supposed to do. He's going out to block the corner. But because it's man-to-man coverage, he brings the extra man unaccounted for in the blocking scheme to make the tackle. That was number 39, Carl Lee.
Boy, they played into their hands that time. Second down and 12. Loss of 2. Elway from the shotgun. Receivers wide left, wide right. The big tight end Mobley, 89 in motion. Crossing over. The catch is made by Vance Johnson to the 35. That's only a gain of 2 yards. Carl Lee over to make the stop.
That's the flexible, bending kind of defense. You see Cleveland just jumping all over the Rams.
I wonder if that Eric Dickerson scenario is distracting the team. You wonder what weapons they have in Jim Everett and Ron Brown and Eric Dickerson, and they're scoreless in that game.
It has to be distracting. Eric Dickerson is, without a doubt, one of the finest, if not the finest player in the National Football League at the running back position. But to renegotiate the contract in the summer and then come back and ask for more is distracting.
On a 3rd and 6. Flag on the play. Johnson's got a beat. Oh, what a catch. What a catch by Johnson. But there's a penalty flag. It's going to go against Denver. "51 yards, but it's going to come back."
The man holding, and I think that's what the penalty is going to be, was number 72, Keith Karts, on the play.
He's one of those replacement guys. He played during the strike out of California. One of 4 guys that Dan Reeves.
Number 72 offense, 3rd down.
He is one of 4 guys that Reeves activated off the replacement team for tonight's game.
Well, if you got your choice of holding and getting your quarterback killed, you hold. Because he was holding number 75, Keith Millard, who was coming in on John Elway. And if he didn't grab him to do something, he would have had a clean shot.
Well, he may not get Elway killed, but he may get killed when he gets on the sideline.
He doesn't help his cause any, that's for sure.
3rd down now. 17 yards to go after the penalty. 6 defensive backs in for the Vikings. There's that penalty yardage again, starting them out for Denver. Elway running out of the pocket. He's flushed out, and he just has to get rid of it. Now, there's an interesting scenario there. And Dan Reeves talked about this today. He said the Vikings are one team that Elway cannot run away from because they have such good team defense and speed.
They have great defensive speed. Number 75, Keith Millard, who's a defensive tackle, is a man who broke through in the center, along with Doug Martin, number 79, on the outside. They gave chase, but it was a controlled chase. Didn't let him get to the outside, didn't let him come forward. Elway, smartly looking downfield, saw a receiver in the vicinity, but there was a low pass, so it can't be picked off.
But Elway can run as well as any quarterback in the NFL. He talked about Roger Staubach might have been a little quicker, but Elway was faster.
Yeah, we told him Roger had moves, Elway doesn't.
Moran to kick. This one he hits very high. Leo Lewis calls for the fair catch, backs up and has it at the 30-yard line. So the Vikings will have it after a 44-yard punt that time by Horan. It's 14-all at the 6:54 mark of the 2nd quarter. And looking ahead, we talked about Roger Staubach. Well, what about next Monday night? As we'll be bringing you a ball game between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants, live 9 o'clock Eastern. Sims had a great game yesterday for the Giants. I was surprised by the Dallas Cowboys, though. They've been struggling a little bit.
It's a rebuilding year for them.
Nelson and Anderson in the backfield. 1st down now from the 30-yard line. Wilson on 1st down to throw. And it's intended for Darren Nelson, intercepted by Mark Haynes. Underthrown that time. Nelson waiting on the football. Haynes had position, and he has the ball.
This ball just thrown up in the air. It just hangs. Mark Haynes, he's taking his time. Watch, he'll just judge it, take his time, goes up for it. Looked more like a center fielder than the defensive back waiting for that ball.
Haynes has had some great years. 4 years with the Giants, he was all NFL. Of course, now he's playing because Louis Wright decided not to come back this year, so he's a starting cornerback. And I don't think the Broncos know yet why he hasn't come back.
Well, we asked Dan Reeves about that. He said he came in one day. There was a note that was given to him that was left with the team owner, and he said, you know, I'm retiring. Thanks. I've had a great time. Played for the finest organization in football. See you later. And he hasn't talked to him. Hasn't been able to talk to him since.
One of the outstanding cornerbacks, not only in Bronco history, but in the NFL history.
Gave me fits.
1st down now. Elway again running out. This is underthrown, and coming over the ball is Harris. What happened was Jackson was on a fly pattern, but Elway didn't have enough time for him to make his break and get open. And he had to underthrow it as Millard and David Howard came pouring through on John Elway.
Yeah, we talked about Elway and his foot speed. Look at the pressure right up the center. He's running. There's pressure on the outside. He just flicks the ball away. Look, the receiver hasn't even turned around yet. Ball just dropped short. The closest man to it was safety 44 John Harris, who was trying to sprint over and pick it off.
Denver's quarterbacks have only been sacked 7 times this year. They protected Elway well last year, giving up 35 sacks. 6 defensive backs on the 2nd and 10. Lang out across the 30, 35. Good effort by Gene Lang, and he is very close to that first down as he's out to the 38. Gugamos and Jesse Solomon over, and it is a first down. Just on a good, gutty second effort by Lang.
The man who snaps the ball, 68, Larry Lee, we talked about him earlier, making the line calls, snaps the ball, and you see him right out there, get out in front of that quick screen, makes a good block to give Gene Lang just enough time to pick up that first down.
Harris missed a tackle that would have stopped him short of the first down, but now it is a first down, just short of the 39-yard line. A lot of weapons for the Broncos. Wide receivers, those backs could come out of the backfield as they did there. Winder and Lang behind Elway on this first down. Jackson in motion. Good reaction by Keith Millard as he able to gobble up the ball carrier for about a yard gain. Bursting through first, though, was 51 David Howard. But then Millard, who's kind of like a street fighter, who is just one of those guys who every play. He made the stop. It'll be second down, virtually 10 yards to go.
One of those great plays to watch on defense where the teamwork when it comes in, crashes the play down, forces him to the inside. Millard just scraping down the line of scrimmage.
Handoff by Elway, rolling left, and a very fine catch is made high in the air inside the 45-yard line. That is the tight end Clarence May. And in the estimation of Dan Reeves, he's playing as well as any tight end in the NFL. 16-yard pickup. Joey Browner made the tackle.
They've got one of their little gadget plays. We told you they've got a full bag. Trick plays right here. He fakes a little reverse, and he actually has a receiver going deep, but he has a backup, an option, which is Clarence Kay, the tight end, coming short across the middle. The coverage was great deep, so he finds a short man.
Kay battling back from some personal problems. That's his 8th catch of the year. Lang and Winder in the backfield. First down, Elway on the move. Finds his secondary receiver, Jackson, at the 40. Good second effort by Mark. And he is about 2 yards short of a first down before Jesse Solomon made the tackle on him on the near side.
Once again, it's a great job by the line. Number 70, David Studdard. You see him taking away the pressure, pushing him to the outside, giving Elway enough time. I'm very surprised that Elway has not been able to go deep with his receivers. He's got great speed with them on that line, but he just hasn't been able to get behind that secondary.
Boy, he spread it out. Those 6 receivers have made catches in this game. Going for the first down on a second down and a long 3 is Winder. Let's see if he got it. Winder has been the leading ground gainer for these Broncos the last 5 years. Studwell and Howard made the stop. Are they going to measure? They may have to. Let's see. Nope, they're going to say it's short. It's third down and a matter of inches. That's our score, and we have 3:20 to go in this first half. Both teams moving the ball very efficiently. Both teams capitalizing on penalties. Elway and Wilson with a real arsenal around them. We expected a high-scoring game, and it very well could be. Going for the first down is Winder. I don't know. Drop back. Good reaction by Tim Newton, the man known as Icebox, 287 pounds. Boyd Peters, the defensive coordinator, said he's the fastest 287-pounder he's ever seen.
Well, the Icebox said this refrigerator or this Icebox is full. There's no more that can come in here. He stops him. I think he stopped him short of that first down.
He did.
And the official says, yes, it's fourth down, about a half yard.
Well, we've had some very tough ground to pick up, haven't we? Those goal line stands, and here we go on another fourth down. Winder and Lang behind Elway. That's Steve Sewell, number 30 in motion. Elway to Winder. He's jammed up. Check that. It's Lang, and he doesn't get it. Gene Lang stacked up.
Number 97. I think that was Henry Thomas. He got in there. Submarine came low, reached up and grabbed Lang. He had the feeling they'd go to the left side behind Keith Bishop. He gets a handoff right there, and you see Lang being stopped there by number 97, Henry Thomas. Again, he gets penetration, he slips off a block, comes in low. Boy, that's great defense.
Oh, it is. And
No
Henry
doubt
Thomas has been a big surprise. He's their third-round draft pick out of LSU. He has the veterans talking about him because he's playing so well. He has been the biggest surprise on this Viking team. So on a first down, pitches it off to the near side to Anderson. Anderson spins across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Pick up a 5. It'll be second down 5. Greg Cragen, the nose tackle, over to make the stop, and we are approaching the 2-minute warning. 14-14 our score from the Metrodome. Both these teams all even as we have 2 minutes left till the halfway. We've completed the 2-minute warning. Second down 5 now for the Vikings. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. 14 all. Been kind of an interesting football game thus far. The Viking touchdown Hankies. The Homer Hankies to the touchdown Hankies, huh? I don't think these people have any emotion left. There's so much going on here. Wilson on 2nd and 5 over the middle. That's the big tight end, Steve Jordan, and he lumbers and roars down to the 35. First down. Huntley caught up with him. 23-yard gain. And when he gets to the open field, you better be thinking about a collision.
6'3", 239 pounds. He had 4 catches for 81 yards before they went on strike. He is a big, strong man. He'll just take you on as soon as before he'll run around you.
He has 2 catches in this game for a total of 46 yards. And now we're going to have a timeout. The Vikings will have 1 remaining. Stopping the clock with 1:34 left. Jordan, by the way, they call him Ivy. He went to Brown University. In fact, he is an engineer and very bright guy out of Phoenix South Mountain High School, where both his parents are teachers. And so Ivy that time lumbered over the middle and caught the ball and moved it to the 35-yard line. And the Vikings now with 1 timeout remaining.
And it doesn't matter whether it's the Ivy League or the Pac-10 or the Big Ten. You get to catch a pass across the middle and somebody's after you. You run.
Well, the Rams got on the scoreboard 20-7 as they trail Cleveland. Well, we're indoors where it's beautiful, 68 degrees. I would imagine up there in Cleveland Stadium, it's a little bit chilly tonight.
A bit chilly. And they've got that open stadium. It's a baseball stadium. The wind comes sweeping in off the lake. And the boys from the West Coast at this time of the year have a tough time playing in the East.
Here we go.
North.
First down now from the 35. 1:34 left. 1 timeout remaining for the Vikings. And that one's going to be intercepted. That's Harden who picks it off, brings it out to the 28-yard line. So Harden with his 2nd interception of the year. He picked off 1 against Seattle in the first game. And that was a very good catch. He caught that ball high and away. There is a penalty flag back at the 45-yard line.
Holding on number 66, I believe, Terry Tao, which they will refuse.
Obviously, Wilson, I don't know who he was throwing to on that play. Just nobody in the vicinity of the football except Harden.
Take another look at it. I was sitting there watching his protection. It looked good with all the holding going on right there.
Well, I guess Lewis was close, but not very close.
Harden just read it, did a good job, stepped right in there, picked it off. Again, first game, they're coming back. We expect to see a lot of mistakes.
Sewell now in the ball game with Ken Bell. So at the minute 24, the Broncos will try to do something with it. They have 2 timeouts left, and that ball on a line to Natil. That shows you the athletic ability of John Elway. He threw that ball a long ways to the far side to complete it for 16 yards.
The secondary is going to play real deep, give Elway a lot of room to throw underneath or throw short, but he gets excellent protection here, so if receivers get a chance to get farther downfield. You saw number 47 that time coming into the backfield. That was Joey Browner, the safety, and blitzed in on that play. But the Denver Broncos did a good job of picking it up.
Elway now 12 of 16, 115 yards, 1 touchdown. First down at the 44-yard line. 6 defensive backs in again for the Vikings. 1:18 to go, first half. Millard comes through. Elway's going to take off. going to try to get out of bounds. He does. He stops the clock as he goes out at the 46-yard line. Again at halftime, we'll be visiting with Frank Viola, the most valuable player in the World Series, who won games 1 and 7. Of course, the big one last night. And Mark Stevens of KSTP here in Minneapolis will be visiting with Frank Viola. And I would imagine that Frank has thought an awful lot about that game last night. Went 8 innings, turned it over to Jeff Reardon, and the celebration, well, it's still going on here in the Twin Cities. Second down now, 7 yards to go. Movement looked like Brown was offside, or Martin, I should say. The pass up the field, and it's complete. Complete to Jackson. That'll be another first down at the 33-yard line. Gugamos made the stop, 21-yard completion, but another penalty flag clear on the far side of the field.
Well, the defensive unit for the Vikings looked like they jumped offside. John Elway picks it up. He knows he has a free play here. So instead of dumping it off short, he waits, tries to get it to a receiver downfield, and he gets one wide open.
Well, it was Doug Martin. It was quite obvious he had jumped off. You're right, he had a free play. But Elway, there's nobody better in a 2-minute drill than this guy.
He's doing a great job. They haven't been able to get enough pressure on him in this particular drive. Don't be surprised if you see them try and blitz here just to get the added pressure.
Elway now has hit his last 5. And as an end result, first down at the 33 from the shotgun. Millard coming in, and Elway, I don't know if he went down or slipped. Millard was coming up the front. Pressure was coming from Chris Dolman from the backside, and he just went down. Let's look at it again.
We'll take another look. They decide not to blitz, but they just come with their down lineman, their front 4, and look at the move right there by Keith Millard. The little swim move. He comes in, great technique. He makes contact with the right shoulder, and then he just swims around it.
Well, that's a reason he probably went down. He lost his shoe, because that's not characteristic of John. They're going to have to use one of their timeouts, so they'll have only one remaining. So Dan Reeves, John Elway, we'll talk about it. He was saying that John sees so well now. He had such great athletic ability, but he had to learn to read the defenses. I thought he had an interesting way of explaining how he's learned to read the defenses.
We'll see there as he steps back. We'll see the shoe come off.
That's what caused it. Anyway, he said, you know, it's interesting about reading defenses. He says it's like you can take a test in Spanish and pass it in a class. That's fine and dandy. When they send you to the country and you have to speak that language, that's another dimension.
Yeah, it's that being in that incubator, that nice environment, that practice environment. It's what coaches talk about, giving a player a chance to grow and mature, get the experience, let him see all the situations he can face, then he's confident.
The penalty now makes it second down and 20. Again, 6 defensive backs in. Elway, man open at the 15, incomplete. Good coverage that time on Jackson. That's Gugamos, number 41 over there. That'll stop the clock with 52 seconds, and it's third down and 20.
I'll tell you, it's tough to throw that ball when you've got a full-field pass pattern that requires a big gap to drop it into a seam. He needed a big cushion between the underneath coverage and the deep people to have his receiver come into. The cushion was just too small. So when the ball travels in the air that distance, they have time to react and make the play.
Denver now 1 of 5 on third down conversions, and this is the third and 20. That's Johnson in motion. Elway, a rifle shot to Natil. He looks like he's just short of the first down at the 26. Timeout has been called. And again, Elway threw a bullet, an 18-yard completion, and the Broncos are going to have to use their last timeout.
They use their timeout, 42 seconds on the clock. John getting the ball downfield. Again, wonderful protection on this play. Fires a bullet. I have to believe had he been able to pick up that first down, obviously they keep going. It's fourth down. I thought they take a timeout at this point, discuss whether they go for it with 42 seconds on the clock.
Well, what they're doing now is they have Carlos out there to attempt the field goal. They're a little bit shorter than I thought. They're about 4th and 2. It looked like 4th and 1, but they spotted the ball back outside the 26-yard line, almost the 26 and a half. So with that time remaining, 4th down and 2 yards. That's pretty good distance to try to capture. So they're going to attempt the field goal. Carlos will come in. He is 5 of 6 this year. Be around 43 yards out. This year he's kicked one of 42. You might recall last year he kicked a career long of 51 yards. It will be a 43-yard attempt. Kubiak to hold. This is for the lead. He's got enough on it. And it's right up and through the uprights. That's his longest of the year. 1 yard further than the one he had before the strike. And the Broncos have jumped back on top 17-14.
Pull out in front. Dan Reeves deciding if I've got 3 points and I can close out the first half with just that much margin, play the same kind of second half, and come away with a win.
Well, what was impressive about that is the Vikings were thinking touchdown, and they turned the ball over deep, and you think wasn't enough time, but anytime Elway's in there, there's always time to cash in, and they did a very good job moving the football up the field.
That's also very interesting because the defensive coaches for the Vikings felt what they wanted to do was force John Elway to be impatient, to make mistakes, not to take his time, not to take the rage. And they figured if they could get him started on a bad ball game, he'd turn the ball over and they could take advantage. But it's a Vikings offense. Had a couple of big plays, long passes, was impatient on their last drive, turned the ball over.
By the way, let's update that game in Cleveland. The Rams have, I should say, the Rams have scored, but the Browns have added another field goal. That touchdown by the Rams, by the way, was by Dickerson from 29 yards.
I bet you that touchdown of 29 yards was more than 80% effort.
Carlos will now kick off for Denver. Guggemos will go back for Minnesota. Minnesota with 1 timeout remaining. 37 seconds left. Minnesota in their last 2 possessions, they had 1 play for an interception and then 3 plays for an interception. So Wilson throwing the ball to the run-collared jersey right now. Going to kind of squib this along the line and picked up short. And they'll bring it out to the 35-yard line. That was Carl Hilton, the backup tight end out of the University of Houston. There's Bob Schnelker, the offensive coordinator for the Vikings, and he'll send Wilson in. I don't think they want to go to Tommy Kramer. Kramer is still about 90% with that shoulder. He's had a pinched nerve in his neck and has hurt his throwing ability. And if Wilson would continue to struggle, they might have a very difficult decision to make as to whether to put this guy in.
That pinched nerve, you can drop back, throw 1 pass, and it's great. Then you drop back, next play, and throw it, and it just doesn't click. Something misses, and the ball flutters.
Anderson and Nelson, let's see what they can do with the remaining 30 seconds now. Wilson scrambling out. Boulon Jones in his face. Up to Anderson on the screen. The blocks ahead of him, a first down. Very well executed play. First down to the 48. Beautifully executed, picking up 12 yards.
Terry Towle, number 66, the right guard. David Huffman, number 72, the left guard. Also Zimmerman getting out in front, doing a very nice job making the blocks, opening up the middle. Sometimes running backs just don't seem to be able to read those blocks. They're not timed just right. They run inside, run outside. That time, it's like parting the Red Sea.
So now from the 48, first down, 24 seconds left. 1 timeout remaining for Jerry Burns and his troops. Carter's in. Hassan Jones is in along with Leo Lewis. Wilson running out, being chased by Simon Fletcher. Got a man. Carter at the 5. Well, that pass interference. Ty Parton.
Wade Wilson getting excellent protection, moving around. Look at the route. This is just a broken pattern. He takes a chance, runs across. When you watch hard, 31. He goes up. The reason why there's pass interference is that Anthony Carter, in going for the football, just slows up a tad. Just enough where Harden, even though he's going for the football, just runs into his back, and that's where the pass interference comes into play, right there.
That ends up being a 47-yard penalty. Sets it up with the 5, and now Denver has been penalized 108 yards on 7 violations. From the 14 seconds now. 1 timeout remaining for the Vikings. Wilson looking to Darren Nelson. Now over the middle. It's intercepted. It is picked off by Tom Lilly, the free safety.
I am not sure. It happened so quickly. It looked as if he hit the ball. He didn't catch it. It hits his foot and bounces back up in the air, or maybe his knee. We'll take a look from our sideline camera. We'll watch Wilson. He throws it. It's a little duck.
Well, that was deflected, wasn't it, Len?
I couldn't see what was deflected.
Yeah, we'll look at from the end zone. Maybe we can pick it up from there.
Watch it. See who is it that comes in? Right there.
Yep. That was
deflected.
Walt Boyer, number 65.
Walt Boyer, number 65, tips it, or pops off his helmet, and the ball was just low, and Lilly just scoops it up into the air.
That's the 3rd turnover in his first half by the Vikings. So the penalties against Denver, the turnovers against the Vikings, and at the halfway point, Denver has a 3-point lead, 17-14. We'll return to the Metrodome after this.